All right, so moving on now. Now we're gonna get to some love. Well, we know well we're gonna get to a love story first, and then we're gonna get to a marriage story afterwards, right? So I will do a review of Queen and Slim, right? This was a movie that a funny thing is I saw the trailer for this during the BT Awards, and I was like, this looks really good, dude. This really looks good.
Yeah.
But what the big sales of the movie to me was the screenwriter for this. This would be Miguel Lino Wait.
Right, right.
Yeah, I was like, all right, she do it well. I don't know. I can't really say if this is her debut feature length screenplay. I can't really say that for sure, but yeah, I know that she has written probably one of the best episodes of what's the name of the show, Master of None, Thanksgiving. Great episode, and I think that she won a Emmy actually for writing that episode, so that was great.
Right.
Well, her and Aziz Ansari actually, wrote that script together. But yeah, that episode just blew me away. Totally love that, right? So I know that leader have what it takes to craft a great story, right? Another sell with this is Daniel Kaluuya, right? From Get Out and Black Panther, right? I'll reference Get Out eventually with this review here. But yeah, so what is this show about? Oh yes, I forgot to mention too. The director is Melina Matsoukas. She well, this is actually her debut feature film, right? She actually directed two great music videos. One being Rihanna's "We Found Love." Well, actually, let me scratch that because I actually don't really like the music video for "We Found Love" at all. Actually, the song is kind of hit or miss for me. I mean, I dig it. Like, I get why people like that song so much, but personally, I just really was not a fan of that video at all, right? I get what they were trying to do. Like, the song is happy, but the visuals aren't. Like, I get that. But yeah, it was what it was. But really, the video that I dug from her was a little video from Beyonce called Formation, which is part of her, Lemonade, visual album thing that she put out last year. Oh, no, sorry, back in 2016. If you, I believe you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of great shots, especially like with Beyonce on that police car, what I mean, which is kind of submerged in flood water and all that kind of stuff. So she has this eye for like really intriguing visuals, right? And you do see this here with this movie. So this film is about the character of Ernest Hines, aka Slim, played by Daniel, and Angela Johnson, aka Queen, played by Jodie Turner Smith, right? They say this is like her debut feature, but I know I saw her in a couple other shows. I just can't remember right now, but I know her face from a couple shows, right? Just can't see which ones. Anyway, so the setup for this is brilliant in my opinion, right? So they just out on a date, right? Like the first date that they have apparently, right? They met over Tinder, so they just did this like diner, right? Just talking, just having, just talking amongst themselves, learning about each other and whatnot. And we get a gist of who these characters are, right? Ernest is more kind of reserved, he's more the godly type, hardworking and whatnot. And Angela, being this defense attorney, sorry, she's more cynical. She's more to the point. She kind of called people out on the shit one time. At some point in time, she kind of comes off a little bitchy, but I understand, because it's first time there. First time they really see
Right.
each other, so it's like that, right? She's not totally a bitch, but from certain instances, like yeah, kind of dial back the bitchiness a little bit, there, but whatever, right? Um, and then afterwards, Slim just drives. He takes Queen home. Like just right off the bat, you see that. Well, I hope you don't expect him to sleep with you, right? I was like, nope. So they just drive and just mind their own business, and then all of a sudden, a police car shows up. They have to
Right.
stop, and this white cop comes outside. Have both of them come outside. He's pretty much, asking asking Slim a bunch of questions, and then eventually, I don't know if it's just that this cop just really have a thing for black people, but yeah, he pulls out a gun, aims it at Slim though. He's like he threatened to well, tell him to just go down on the ground, see on the ground and whatnot. Queen, of course, kind of intervenes. She gets shot in the leg. And then, well, a scuffle takes place, and, well, Slim ends up getting the gun, and he fires it at the cops. The cop is dead, right? So right off the bat, it's like, holy shit, what do we do, right? So they just jump in the car, they just exit the scene, and from there it's just one situation after the next where it becomes like this manhunt because like holy shit, these two black people actually killed this cop, right? Of course, it's recorded, body cams, all that kind of stuff. Well, actually not body cam, but there was like a camera, security camera, um, located close to where the scene took place, right? So it captured the gunning down of the cop and all that kind of stuff. And it's just
Right.
basically sort of like Bonnie and Clyde scenario where, yeah, Queen is still heading down south because apparently Queen has an uncle that she, that owes favors to. And they actually explained what they mean by that, just some personal family stuff. But when you hear it, it is kind of heartbreaking, right? And the uncle is played by Bokeem Woodbine. I didn't expect to see him in this. But his he was excellent in this, by the way, right? But I'll get his performance in a bit. And then it's just basically just them just meeting other characters, you know what I mean? And like I say, it's just this Bonnie and Clyde scenario, you know what I mean? They try to avoid the cops and whatnot. But what makes this interesting, I'll just jump into the review here one time, is that, when you hear Bonnie and Clyde, you think, oh, it's going to be this kind of like crime spree, lovers on the run kind of thing. But it's actually not. It is, but it isn't at the same time, right? So yeah, it is lovers on the run, right? Because, well, what I would say is that throughout the course of the movie, they do kind of fall in love, right? They do eventually fall for each other. Well, it's clear that Slim is enamored by Queen, but Queen kind of like hesitant, especially with the way how he reacts to certain situations. But eventually she warms up to him, right? So it's not exactly lovers on the run to like later on, right? Then also too, you expecting when you hear Bonnie and Clyde, it's gonna, be some kind of crime spree and they're gonna leave bodies on their wake and whatnot. But it's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even a spoiler. The only person they really killed was that cop.
Right.
That was the only person they killed, right? They never killed anybody else. And yet, and we can kind of argue with this being kind of heavy handed. The media and the cops themselves kind of spin this like, oh, well, they shot a cop, so we have to send our squads to track them down. So they're making them out like they're some kind of like terrorists, you know what I mean? In a way, like they must be stopped at all costs, there, right? But to the show's defense, the movie doesn't stop to have moments where cops like, oh my god, we must stop them at all costs and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, that's not what they're going for. It's really more from Queen and Sim's perspective, me just what I mean? Just from what they're going through, what they learn along the way, what they learn about themselves, what they learn about just being black in America, right? Um, so just to get acting out of the way, I thought that the acting was great from top to bottom. Uh, Daniel Kaluuya was great as Slim. I really dug his character. Actually, he was the most relatable character to me because it's like, well, yeah, I really don't want to get into trouble here. You know what I mean, I really don't want to get into any bullshit, but I'm kind of getting myself in these situations I don't want to be involved in. But what I like also with him and the amount of time that he spends with Queen now, he kind of feels like, like now, I live a life on the edge now, and now I kind of want to experience things because he just has a feeling that just in case he doesn't make it, he still wants to live out his last few days, with joy now, with exhilaration now. So there's
Right.
numerous moments where he kind of steps out of his comfort zone and does things, experience things, and he even kind of gets Queen out of her comfort zone to experience life and just have fun as well too. So there is some lightheartedness going on here. I know for some people they would expect this thing to be kind of sour and serious and really be heavy, be really heavy into the emotion. But there's lots of humorous moments. Lots of really great heartwarming moments with the couple, right? And just speaking about that, Judy Tudor Smith, I thought that she was great here. Uh, You could tell this is like kind of like her first time on screen. You know, what I mean, not all the lines that she deliver, land as much as they could. But I thought that screen presence she had it, and just the chemistry that they had between her and Daniel, I thought they were great. And that really was the sell of the movie. You really had to sell that they are a couple. You know what I mean? That you really want to root for them because that's the important thing. You're rooting for them to make it out of the situation alive, right? But as well, speaking of Daniel, right? I could not help but think, God, boy, this is yet another movie where this man can't get into a relationship, though, like a long-standing relationship, though. I mean, we had even before Get Out, right? We had that one episode of Black Mirror where he was trying to get a girl and it didn't work out.
Right.
And then we had Get Out now. We get this white girl and that didn't work out, right? So it's like, oh gosh, man. Even in Black Panther too, it's like he went again with who was it? Oh gosh, from
Yeah.
Walking Dead, I forget. Did I Gurira's character? I was like,
Well,
nope,
he was with her. They were
yeah, like, but
married.
right, but even that didn't even work out neither.
No,
It's
it
like
kind of
this.
worked out.
Well, I don't know, but no, but she kind of came off like she didn't need him. No, at least that's why I got from that movie. But yeah, boy,
Right, right.
it's just like this guy, just boy, like I made the joke on Facebook, like in the next movie he'll find a girl and he'll actually like settle down and raise a family with her. But like this man just can't get a break, boy, when it comes to finding the girl of his dreams, though. But I it's kind of funny though. And there was even a moment where they end up with in this white home basically. Well, it's friends of Queen's uncle, and while they're just kind of shocked up, they're just kind of biding the time and whatnot. The cops show up now, and yeah, my head of telling myself, "Get out, get out." Remember that last movie that you were in? Yes, get
Right.
out. Right? Yeah. As far as the script goes, I thought that it was very well written. I love the characterization that they gave the characters as well. Bucky Woodbine, I forgot to mention too, his performance was excellent in my opinion. He brought some comic relief to it, and he basically was just this old kind of wedded down pimp like character. He have like a few fine shapely chicks what I mean in his house basically, but you could tell
Right.
that he just kind of acting like, yeah, I still this shit, I'm still this pimp, but you know what I mean, like he just old and more or less kind of like a remnant of the past. And because it's set into the south now, like well, southern US, it has that kind of southern flavor to the way our characters talk. You even have some music as well too, some classic hits, classic soul songs from the 70s. I even hear, well, slight spoiler, still tipping from a boy Mike Jones. Like when last when they hear that, and the way how they play it in the movie too, I was like, this is perfect, Jen. And it reminds me a lot like what they did with Goody Bob in Moonlight, basically, right? And speaking of Moonlight, though, they even have a shot, Jen, and they do it twice, Jen. They do it twice. I was like, God damn, I need to either make a video, like a music video with this shot, or actually make a film with this shot, Jen. Camera on the
The car.
passenger side of the car,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, passenger the car door. And when they slam, you could tell the camera is there. You see that little shake. They do it twice. I was like, God, I want to do a shot like this though, because I remember seeing it for the first time with this movie with Moonlight. I was like, dude, like this. I remember like we both saw it and it kind of blew us away basically. And I was like, I want to do that though. So yeah, but yeah, just seeing it there was pretty cool as well. Um, the music, which was done by Devontae Hines. You may know him as Blood Orange. He is a British R&B sort of like funk, sort of like indie rock kind of artist. He actually have a couple of really dope albums. One that he brought out this year, but I haven't got around to listen to it. But he actually has a few great albums on his belt. I dug the music that he did here. You know what I mean? It really worked. And like I say, the songs that they threw in were pretty cool. Cinematography, I thought, were great as well. Just a lot of like wide shots, a lot of exterior shots, especially of the south. You know what I mean, where they just going from place to place. It has a Easy Rider kind of feel things. You know what I mean? There's characters just going from place to place. And you're just seeing, well, the nature, just the vibe of these different states that they pass by, right? And what I would say as far as gripes though, for it does kind of want to have its cake and eat it too at some point. Like, okay, they want to touch on, okay, basically, racial profiling, just like recently with cops, just white cops being violent towards black suspects and all that kind of stuff. So at times you're almost seeing that they're just kind of demonizing not just cops in general, but white cops in particular. In some shots, some moments where like you kind of wondering if they really had things kind of figured out. Just right down to, oh well, these characters must be stopped at all costs. It's kind of implausible. That's what I'll say. However, though, to the show's defense, I kind of saw, but it took me a while to really realize this, right? I kind of realized that they weren't exactly going for realism, like pure realism, right? Like it's real. Like you're seeing characters going through the motions, and you treated them as real characters. But the way how the story is set up, I was getting some along the line of say like I forgot the actual Greek poem. I don't know if it's the Iliad. I think what it is. Yeah, I was just getting this sort of like Greek sort of adventure
Right.
vibe where it's characters just going from point A to point B, and there's going to be a character there that's going to help them out to do this, and okay, somebody's going to get in the way of that, and then they have to go to a next place. You know what I mean? So things kind of play out in a rather convenient way, but just because I was thinking about it from this kind of Greek perspective, I was like, yeah, this is almost like it's like a Greek legend playing out here. So,
Right.
you have to kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit. You have to kind of understand that no, in reality, things would not have played out like this. It's not just because it's a movie, but it's the kind of story that's being told. You know what I mean? It always kind of reminds me of a movie that we ranked amongst the best of the year, Last Black Man in San Francisco, where
Right. 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 Right.
yeah, where it looks real and characters are real, but it doesn't. It's not exactly real. It has a kind of like weird, sort of folklorish kind of vibe to things. And even with this movie here, with Queen and Slim, it has a sort of folk story kind of feel. You know what I mean? And that's another theme that I really dug here, where the people that they run into, well, the mainly black people, right? They consider them to be heroes, right? And like Queen, for example, is like, I don't really see myself as being a hero. We in this situation, we reacted the way we did. We kind of regret it, but I mean, we did what we had to do. But to everybody else in this movie, it's like y'all are heroes, man. Y'all stood up to the man. Y'all stood up to the cops and whatnot, right? But Slim, no, he goes in on this, right? He's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I want to be remembered, I want to be remembered, in this space of time that I have, you know what I mean? Like I did something, and then that's where you get like, well, if you look at the cover, sorry, the poster for this, it's in one key scene where they at this garage. It's like, well, take a picture of us. And it's just like this moment, this kind of conveyed who they were. This is moment in time now, basically, right? And that's really like a powerful theme in this. And I like how they express it at the very end, where it's like not saying that because they shot a cop that makes them heroes, right? The movie is smart enough to say that yes, there is a downside to it. This doesn't really make them heroes, but at the same time, it's what they represent and them being symbols. But it's how you look at the symbol. And I was also thinking about like, well, the recent murder of Nipsey Hussle, right? So to some people he might just be a gangster rapper, right? But to other people it's like, no, he was a guy from the hood who managed to make a business and really, put his, be really show people in the hood that it was possible to better yourself, right? But it's all a matter of perspective, and that's what I dug about this show here. Just a couple more things before I get to it, right? There's one scene though which may come off, which I felt like execution wise, I get what you're going for, but it was a tad bit sloppy. Um, using using another Southern rapper reference, right? Andrew 2000, he has a song called Love and War, right? So basically, it's the make love not war scenario and how they express it there. So it's a very impactful moment in terms of Queen and Slim, like what they're going through. But they juxtapose it now with something else is going on, just using the whole like them as being like heroes, for example. But you see the downside to it now. You see how you see like the violent counterpoint to that does basically. So it did take me out a few times, and I felt like the scene itself ran out a tad bit too long. But I got what they were going for. But I know for some people, it might kind of take them out like, okay, y'all really try to paint these characters as like they are some kind of heroes in a way. But at the end of the day, it's all a matter of perspective, right? And last, I want
Right.
to say though, uh, couple of articles was kind of like I was surprised that people didn't really like the film that much, right? Like I thought that they were going to talk about the script because yes, while I get what the script was going for, it's very well written. There are it could have used a little bit more fine tuning. That's like probably like one more rewrite, no, just to fix certain things. Okay, yeah, things
Yeah.
kind of happen, and it's like yeah, but I don't know. I just wish that if they had just kind of wrote this a little bit better or delivered it a little bit better, then we really would have made for impactful scene or sequence, right? But yeah, apparently some people were kind of uh, like not liking the film because they felt that it was just another example of what they call it by trauma porn. Like, okay, we
Right.
have to have another movie with black people catching the tail, right? And I didn't really quite get that though. Like, I understand it is primarily, about the black experience, right? About yeah, what we have to go through, weathering the storm and all that kind of stuff. I get that, right? But it also kind of celebrates black pride. You know what I mean? Like this, the movie itself really does feel like a old school black exploitation films. Just right
Right.
down to the cinematography, the way it's shot, and even right down to like some fantastic lighting as well too. I know you mentioned before just how black people, like dark skinned people are shown on screen. Yeah, just like Moonlight, this is another show where you can look at it and really study it from a technical perspective. Now, like okay, I like how they like this character. Yeah, okay, okay. Even of course with Daniel Kaluuya, him being dark skin and all that. You know what I mean? And Jodie as well too, because she is dark skin. But yeah, it's like okay, right. This is where the light is, right? This is where they put that. So, like, if there's one reason I want you to see this movie, Ricardo, is just to see how they like dark people, right? That because I thought that
Right.
they nail that perfectly. But yeah, but I mean, while on the sound, we the criticisms, I didn't really see this show as being trauma porn. Like, oh well, we have to have another movie with white cops hating on black people. It's like it's a problem. It's still a problem in the United States, and I guess this movie just had to address that. Well, Lena and Melina and everybody else involved just felt that it was just a great film to explore that, right? But because it's going for realism, but not realism stuff, you could look past that and just see it as just this lovers on the run story, just a great romantic drama. Yeah, because really the romantic stuff is really that would stand out to me the most. But I know for some people they would have wanted it to be more like a Bonnie and Clyde or a Thelma and Louise, but clearly that's not what they're going for. And I dug that. I really dug that. So at
Right.
the end of the day, while this was not a perfect movie, I really wanted this to be, one of the best of the year. And I will put this as an honorable mention for sure. But as far as a debut film goes, this is probably one of the best that I've seen this year. As far as a black movie goes, this is one of the best I've seen for the year. Like I say, it's not a perfect movie. It has little mistakes here, there, especially with this narrative. But I got where they were going with this film here. So it's one of those that you kind of have to watch with an open mind. Don't think about it too much. But it has a lot of potency that yeah, you will watch it over and gain something else from it. You know what I mean? Because even I myself, I have a feel that if I watch it again, I'll pick up something I didn't notice before. So rated wise, yeah, I'll give this a strong 4 to 5, man. This is a absolute must see. I enjoyed seeing this on the big screen. I really do want to see this again for sure. But because of the little flaws in the narrative itself, I can't go any higher than this. I really wanted this to be like top 10 for me. But it is a solid film throughout. I dug the acting, I dug the cinematography, direction was strong, writing was strong for the most part. Just a little moments could have been fixed up. But yeah, other than that though, this is the real deal. I mean, and last thing I want to say, I know this is one that people might kind of sweep under the rug, like, oh yeah, there was that show, but I don't know, I didn't know anything about it. But I really do recommend that you do check it out. I don't want this to be a film, and I realize like this is something like with films like say Blind Spotted or Last Black Man in San Francisco, movies that kind of deal with issues like that, like urban dramas, kind of get lost in the clutter. Now, there's always like the bigger budget films that people will will seek out now. But this, I really recommend that you do check it out, man. You will be thoroughly entertained by this. I don't want this to be a movie that will be ignored in the long run, even after 2019. I really think that this is one that you should check out and really, think about it afterwards. So, yeah, strong 4 to 5 for me. I recommend that you do check out Queen and Slim. All right,
Right.
and last but not least, now we move from a love story to one of heartbreak.
Yeah.
One of divorce. I mean, really, really uncomfortable topic, but I mean, it's a common issue. I mean, it is very common since like
Right.
ever since the word divorce was ever conceived, right? Of course, we're talking about Marriage Story, right? And well, I want you to do the synopsis on what it's about, right? But I'll just say early on, well, just right off the bat, this is directed by Noah Baumbach. I believe that's how you
Yeah.
pronounce his name. Um, Not the biggest fan of his work. I only saw two films of him prior to this. This would be The Squid and the Whale and Francis Ha. But the reason why I
Yeah.
watch Francis Ha, well, not just because it's on the Criterion Collection, which I get into with this movie here, but also with the same IndieWire list of best movies of the decade, this was on the list. And I checked out the first time. I saw Adam Driver. It's like, oh, okay, well, all right, this is where Adam started off from. Because, yeah, apparently this is, I think, well, this is one of the three collaborations that they've had, with on film now. The last one, of course, being Marriage Story here.
Right.
But I dug the vibe of it. I dug the black and white cinematography. I dug what he was getting at, but I wasn't like blown away by the movie itself. Like I get why
I
people love it so much. I was like, this
I
cool. It's cool.
I loved Mars. So I loved Francis Ha for what it was. I dug it.
All
The
right.
analogy I like using, the analogy I like using is that if the artist is what the modern silent era is, this was Francis Ha is what French New Wave was. If you think about it like that.
Yes. You could tell that he was very much inspired by French New Wave, like that classic. Yes, classic. I call it that long take where you're seeing Francis's character like crossing the street. It's very much
Right.
like 400 Blues, right? Like
Right.
those moments of characters moving about the city and stuff like that. But yeah, so I was like kind of fairly new to his stuff. I know that people really like his stuff, but I wasn't like completely blown away by that film. But I have a feeling that if I do watch it again, I pretty much will appreciate it even more. But with this one here with Marriage Story, I was just hearing nothing but acclaim for this. What I mean, best of the year, and some people as far some critics went as far as say that this was best of the decade. So, of course, I had to see this, right? I even held back, put it on my top 30 list because, like, okay, let me have a little spot here for this movie just in case it turns out to be as awesome as everybody calling it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so Marriage Story. What is Marriage Story about?
Right. So Charlie and Nicole, couple in New York.
Uh huh.
Charlie's very popular, very quite successful, intelligent theater director.
Yes.
And Nicole was a kind of teen actress in she days, but she kind of stick with him, and they got together from since then. And yeah, basically had a nice life in New York, but she wanted to move back to LA. And well, for several reasons, she eventually wanted to initiate a divorce, and it just you get to see this very very unfortunate and pathological situation play itself out.
Yeah.
And that's just a quick run through.
Yeah. Great,
Uh,
great, great run through, by the way. Very, very, very to the point.
right, and that's it. So this movie is kind of really well made. I'll have to say.
Yeah.
Um, what I'll say, it does three things masterfully, and because of those, it all those three things feed off of each other so well that everything else, even if you might not care for the scenario, but the scenario is like quite plausible in my opinion, or you think, oh, it's not that great, or it's not that groundbreaking or anything like that. That is not the issue. It does three things. It does three things. It does framing really well, like 10 out of
Yes.
10.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Right. It does blocking very well.
Uh huh. Yeah. It does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Not
then
not
it
not
does,
not no to deal with that. Mm-hmm.
you're right. And then it does editing very well. And these three things edit together, cut together so well. These three aspects of the film work so well in tandem that it makes basically like a next to flawless film in my opinion. I did
Yeah.
not expect to enjoy this so goddamn much.
Same here.
Um,
Same here.
Adam and
Scarlett Johansson.
right, Scarjo, the two of them so good in this. There's one scene in particular where there's a meltdown coming
Yeah,
down to the
boy.
end. That was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And
I felt that though. I felt that. I even
Yeah,
felt it for Adam, but I was just like, God, boy.
yes, sure.
Felt that
And
shit.
why it works, why the film works is that it's very plausible. But what they do is they carry the 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 emotional state very well because it's two creative people, very emotional people having to be into this very calculating coolness to the whole thing, right?
Yes.
There's not it's really intelligent in terms of they get them to go into LA because look like there's no secret that it's no surprise that Los Angeles has some of the most prolific American, courtroom dramas ever, right? Real world,
Yeah.
right? O.J.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simpson, Michael Jackson, all these scenarios that play itself out, and it's really because so LA, especially Santa Monica, has a really shitty like court system, right? They could do all these
Right.
bullshit rules and have all these things that can really operate at bad faith and really spite people in all kind of nasty ways. But because they're not that, it's slowly poisoning them over time. And I like that. They really sort of, meld down over time now. And, because but they're so at the same time they're doing things, but at the same time they're not supposed to do these things. Like I was so shocked to see them like actually interacting with each other while the trial played itself out. Like wow, I was
Yeah.
so
I
shocked.
know, right? Yeah.
Things like that. But the
But the
situation did
excuse is about the kid, right? It's we do
exactly
this
right.
for my
It's
son,
about
right?
stuff,
So yeah.
right? And they nailed that aspect of everything like that, and that is why this real work, John. Right? Editing is so good, especially that opening sequence, and then everything comes full circle at the end. And when a certain character who's struggling to read something. And it's like, oh shit, that was the thing at the beginning. All right, great.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, yeah. I love how it came back full circle with that though. That was
Right.
really touching. Yeah.
And yeah, this movie real worked for me, Judd. I didn't expect this. I expect to enjoy it as much. Um, Soundtrack, Randy Newman. Holy shit! What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
fucking
score though.
write
Like
yourself
it's
to
like what Doug
Pixar.
about yeah, like what Doug yeah, exactly. It
You
really
know,
has a Pixar feel like what he did for
you know,
the Toy Story movies. Like it's kind of whimsical and lighthearted, but at the same time there's like
yeah,
the aura of sadness in it though. Like
right.
even when things kind of like when the music gets a little fluttery, there's still like a little sadness like still there though, and I felt it. Like
Right.
I felt it in that music.
They make kind of everyone around them villains except for them. And that is why.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, uh,
especially Ray Liotta, but I'll talk about him in a bit.
yeah, well, Laura Dern and Ray Liotta, the two of them especially, Alan Alda to a certain extent as well. Uh, they make it work where the lawyers are like, no, you have to do this and that, and this is how shitty the system is. You have to do this. And what I like about it susses itself out by, well, if they had more money, it would be worse for them. That's how it susses itself out. That's it. That's pretty
Hmm.
much it. And
Yeah.
it plays itself out that way. And I love what it did with that there. It's a great script. It's simple, but at the same time, it just you understand how things could escalate in the worst ways. Um, People who are ostensibly very, very nice to each other, they had a ostensibly good thing that they didn't work out properly because they made the mistake of not working it out in therapy, so they had to work it out in the courts. I like that, right? They make that work, and it makes perfect sense because that was the end point, right? We have full evidence of that. And I didn't expect to enjoy this so much. Well acted, good cast of characters. Everybody was great in this. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but I did.
All right. Well, I totally agree with you, man. I did not expect to enjoy this as I did as well. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like just the topic of divorce, though. I mean, I'm not saying that as
Yeah,
being all obsessive about it, but it's something that eventually you have to come to. Well, I was gonna say come to terms with, but I guess is if you're married, you could come to terms with it, right? But I mean, like at some point in time, you have to think about, but hey, if I do actually settle down with this girl, or if you're a woman, if you settle down with this guy, what's gonna happen? Like, is this relationship gonna work out? And if it comes to divorce, like, what's gonna happen? But like with this film, for example, here, it's even worse when there's a kid involved, and
yeah,
just seeing how that played out, though, especially with Driver's character, him having to spend time with the kid, having to travel from New York, sorry, to LA, you know, just to be with him, and then just speaking of the child for a bit, like, so I love like at first I was thinking like the kid, right? His name, well, the his name in the film is Henry, right? Henry Barber.
Right.
Like at first I was thinking like he was just being bratty and annoying for the sake of it, but it's
Right.
like at like he's it's how he's processing this now, cause he's around his mom so much, and you know, so yeah, so eventually, well, even before like he knows what he can have idea what's going on there, but because
Right.
he's mostly with his mom now, so like when he's with his dad, it's a little bit more awkward. Like he kind of wants to do things with him, but at the same time, he kind of doesn't. And then because of how cynical Adam is, well, Adam's character is, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It's just like I try to be there, but like mentally I'm not there. 'Cause I have to think about this play that I want to do this. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? But what I really love about this movie here is that it didn't really villainize Adam. You know what I mean? Like at the same time, you know he slipped up. You know he make a couple of mistakes. One in
Right.
particular that pretty much caused the separation
Right.
in the first
I
place. I'm
was
not
going
gonna
to
say what
mention
it is.
I was going to mention that is that all I'll say is that just a quote a great American poet. I don't know what else to say. Nigga never go Eric Benet. That's all I'll say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Perfect reference
Right.
there, right? But
Right.
even after all too, there is this like you're not supposed to understand why he did it, but at the same time, it's look, I make a mistake, but that don't mean
Right.
I'm a bad guy. Like, please don't crucify me or villainize me because of that, right? But it's from stuff that happened before that either um I reacted to wrongly or just didn't know how to react it at all, right? And it's
Right.
just the complexity with that relationship, and then with one powerful moment that was done in a long take thread, and it was only like 2 minutes into it, like, wait, the camera's still rolling? Like, what the hell did he even cut? Right? Where
Yeah.
Scarlett now is just breaking down to this therapist
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just going into detail into how their relationship just fell apart there. It's like so incredibly like put together now. I know what I mean, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like when you just really think about what she's saying, it's just like, yeah, it's almost like they just had no it's they both had control and they both didn't have control over the situation. That's
Right.
really the best way to describe it. And that's what I love about this script here. Just how complex this situation is. So it's not like, oh well, you look for that, you know me, because you want to be famous, right? So in a way, it's kind of like about both characters chasing fame, right? Well, Scarlett's character being an actress and her getting her big shot basically through theater, right? And
Right. Right.
well, Adam just kind of thinking, oh well, if it wasn't for me, you'd still be doing well, the shitty comedies now, right? Even though well the well, I know it's a fake clip that they used from a movie that she was in, right? I was trying to remember like what the reference was. Like
I
I
the film I was thinking of is oh gosh, what's the film I was thinking of? Remember the movie? It's a Set Green, I think, where all them was in a party. That
um
shit, boy. Set
can't
Green.
remember what it is though, but it
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah.
familiar. It's one of those
Is that
kind of like those those college,
right? Right.
frat boy comedies. That's what they're going for. That's what she
Well,
stands up
I'm
after.
thinking of a high school movie is when it was a house party and it was a teen movie with it was Set Green. It was a bunch of people in it. Of course, she was a girl named by she was a real hot Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Was it? No, not can't hardly wait. Was it?
Probably,
Probably,
probably.
probably it was that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably was that. But anyway, but yeah. And then well, with Adam's character thinking as if, well, I mean, and it's funny that he just accepted like whatever gigs he could get. Like, oh, you want me to produce this play? All right, cool. But he's not just on the one hand he's doing it to provide for his family, but he see that he gotta do this to, well, sorry to say, feed his ego. Like, he just wants to be the best. But
Right,
the way how they frame these characters, like you don't believe them for the mistakes that they make, for the decisions that they make, you know what I mean? But it's just that they in this situation that they kind of have control and no control over. It's just really make for a really powerful film though. So yeah, I dug the hell out of this though. Like the performances, I mean Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, great on-screen chemistry though. Just the moments with them together, that meltdown scene, boy, that legit broke my heart. But I really felt it for
yeah,
Adam, and just how Scarlett broke down too though. You really felt for both of these characters too. The supporting characters, Laura didn't know that she was gonna be in this, but yeah, she was great as Laura Fanshawe. She's a lawyer, and I like her vibe, like the way how she is in the film. That like You know what I mean? Like she's clearly really old, right? But you know what I mean? She tries to look
Right.
hot, you know what I mean, for her age. And Doug that as a character. Like, you know what I mean? She's not dressing down because, oh well, you're a lawyer, so you know, you have to present yourself in that kind of way. It's like, no, she rocking
Right.
dresses and whatnot, you know, be
Is it
looking all
terrible?
hot
Yeah,
and whatnot.
it's very intentional, because she's very manipulative, whilst Ray Liotta as well.
Yes, yes.
What I found really dark, and they made it work, is where they had like the lawyers being on super friendly terms with each other when they're not meeting,
Oh
and
yes.
and then
And then when he tries to go to court, boy, they just rip
right,
each other.
and
Like,
at the same time they cut into the two of them not talking to each other, whilst the two lawyers like, well, oh, I meet your friend and I meet your little brother and sort of all this bullshit. I was like, what the
yeah,
hell?
yeah.
And it's dark and like, but the thing is, they're the most cynical ones, by far. They're by far more cynical than their two clients.
Yes,
So
yes,
it
yes.
works there. I
Yeah.
love how topsy-turvy and Byzantine the whole thing is there.
It is,
And
yeah,
they make
yeah.
it work.
Yeah.
Just to mention before we continue, well, classic famous film starring Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
Classic
Kramer
film,
versus Kramer, yes. Which I
Kramer, right?
saw
Yeah,
once and I never wanted to watch it again because it was just so depressing, you know what I mean? But I
yeah,
was
yeah,
worried
yeah.
that
But
this movie was going to be, you know, just entirely depressing. But like, no,
right,
actually there are some not too much comical moments, even though they touted this as a comedy drama. I don't really find it like that. I do see it as
no,
a drama, but yeah, there
that's
are
drama.
some just moments in just a writing that just clever. You're chuckling, you're laughing at it, especially like with Laura Dern and Ray Liotta's characters, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's not like you're laughing at the situation, but you're just laughing at how characters react to the situation, what they say about the situation. It's kind of funny. It's dark, but really funny at the same time. Just like in a oh my gosh, man, like this is what they're really thinking. Like this is really, you know, it's kind of funny
yeah,
like that, you know. But just talk about Ray Liotta just quickly. Yeah, I dug his performance too. I love how just like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Just how blatant he is about it. That like, yeah, we have to kind of spin this, you know, we like it's her fault and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just want to make sure I know everything about this thing, but don't say this, don't say that. Uh, it's just really funny, like just how his character was. The Alan Alda, I didn't expect to see him in it.
yeah.
I thought, I mean, yes, he is the most reasonable out of the three lawyers, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, these are the rules. The like, I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't write these rules, but you know, these are the rules, right? You just have to kind of follow them, right? But it's really, but like when you think about it, though, it's just really like almost to bring down Adam's character, but it's just like this. It's almost like it's kind of designed that he will lose in all of this stuff, you know what I mean? I you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
see them kind of try to fight through it, though, and just deal with it.
Right. But
Yeah, it's really sad.
one thing. No, that's the one thing with a lot of like, okay, so all of these, I don't know what to call them. Well, MRA, men rights activists type fellows. I do think the one talking point they have, at least in the United States, is family court. Like,
Right.
that's a good, because it is very biased towards women. It's very biased towards the mother, blah 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 blah. They kind of have a case to be made there, kind of. And I'd like how it really framed him in a really disadvantageous position. He had to constantly travel. He's the one who burdened out the money. It makes him look, at least at the beginning, makes him look villainous. It looks like he was going to lose out at the end. It balances itself out ultimately. The ended slightly in favor of the wife, maybe kind of.
Yeah.
But they make it work where it's ultimately stuff like this, especially in their relationship case. It's a Pyrrhic victory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You win, but you didn't really win. You lose so much, and you really don't want to win in that way.
Right.
And I like how they frame it.
Yeah. Right. So a couple more things before we get to Rita, right? I saw a few faces. I saw Judy Haggerty, and I was like, but wait, no, but and she was in that
Right.
one show with oh gosh, Noel like a few weeks ago, and I just reviewed that. I was like, hey, she is too. I saw Barrett Weaver, sorry, last time I saw her was in Walking Dead. Yeah, she
Right.
was one of the characters who got stuffed out
I
in a really
swear,
talented way.
I swear, I saw two people from shows that I watched. Mary Wiseman from Star Trek Discovery wasn't this right? But
Yes.
uncredited. Yes, right.
Um,
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
Tilly as one of the actors in the play, right? In the troupe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes,
Right. She
speaking
was
of that troop, Wallace Shawn, though, I didn't know he was in this too. Well, he's a
right. Yeah.
regular on Young Sheldon. If you care to watch that show, he's there. Actually love his character in that show in particular. But yeah, I thought that he had some great moments. Just having that test me and be in this. I love the little moments where he talked about, yeah, well, back in my days when I wanted Tony and I had this one chick who
Yeah.
won, 4 Academy Awards, sucking my, and he stops right there. I thought that was really funny.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that though, oh yes, and as you see, from blocking and just the Freeman and all that, some great shots when you really see the divide between the two. A great shot, well, you see it in the promo pictures for this, with Adam and Scarlett's characters in a subway. So
Yes.
simple, but just so powerful.
Mhm.
Just how they do that. And from editing, the way when characters, even before that, like when characters kind of exited or like leaving the house, and they'll always kind of like rush the shots and just kind of cut back, like they don't even have enough time to even see each other before that door slams. That really says a lot. Even right now, when you see with blocking, you know what I mean, like where just characters are positioned and whatnot. I just see it like I'm not saying they go further and further with the movie, but they always make sure to just have these characters be as far away from each other as possible, right? But it's
Right.
close enough to
No,
hear each other and
yeah.
just,
What I
bounce
like,
down
yeah,
there.
because they do a lot of great moments with them, like she in the background, he in the foreground, vice versa. They do a
Yeah.
lot of that. A lot of great framing. Like, so it had this one great framing where I forget what it was exactly, but she says something where really turn around nasty, and he says something that was like an innocuous moment earlier, but because he told them that, how sharky the two of them is there.
Yeah.
How she used to get drunk now, and then they
Yes,
cut
yes,
to
yes.
him feeling like shit about that, and her feeling bad about that too, and it cut to her, and then the rack focus to her, and back to him, like little stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. I remember that. Yeah, that was a great shot.
Cut together well. That ending piece where you see her out of focus and they reading the letter. But again, if they read to each other at the beginning, the only mistake they made was not reading what they should have read to each other at the beginning,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. And
And
on the
they
subject
have
of that though, without spoiling, like I thought, like in true Hollywood fashion, you'd have like a little close up or a medium of Scarlett kind of reacting to
no,
it. But it's like, no,
no,
she's just in the back,
back out of focus. Yes,
out of focus. Love that. Yeah.
great little choices. Yeah. Uh yeah. Go ahead.
But yeah, I thought that the cinematography was great. I mean, for what the story is, what I mean, just simple to the point. But there's a lot of great shots, both interior and exterior. Editing, like I say, was great. The writing was just so crisp, what I mean, just so well put together.
Yeah.
And last, this is what I say before I get to rating. It's only like when the movie ended and I went to the Wikipedia page and I read it up. This actually is that scene is based off a true story, but it is inspired by Noah's divorce from actress Jennifer Jason Leigh. I did not know that
Okay. Right.
they were together, but so it just added a lot to just the emotion behind this, though, and
Yeah.
also. His parents actually, his real life parents actually divorced him, which inspired the Squid and the Whale, right? So
Right. Right.
it's a topic that he is familiar with. He even did some research. He actually interviewed some people that he knew who went through divorce as well. So it really does feel well thought out and put together. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Scarlett's the villain and she wants everything, or Adam's the villain because he's self-centered. It's not like that. I mean? Both characters have their flaws, but you do get where both characters come in. Just because of how complicated the situation is, it just really made for some very, very, very poignant moments, though, and just really well acted throughout those. So yeah, it really did come from the heart. You could tell. And not say that this is some kind of warning for people in relationships and whatnot, but it is an aspect of just relationships, especially with how the parties deal with each other afterwards. Okay, you think, well, I mean, they just not gonna see each other, just gonna have that animosity
Yeah.
for each other going forward, but you have a kid now,
Yeah.
so it's like, well, you kind of have to make it work somehow, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
what Doug with the last few moments of the movie, which I wouldn't spoil, but simple but very, very, very emotional, I would say. So yeah,
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
hands down, this is one of the best of the year. I wouldn't think a movie about divorce would be that way, but yes, I mean, believe the hype. This is one of the best movies of the year. And dare I say one of the best of the decade, though, just in terms of what it is. It's a powerful drama, well acted from top to bottom, well shot, well put together, and just with a lot of heart, with a lot of emotion with this. And yes, it's so great now that I actually want to go back and watch Francis Han, watch Squid and the Wheel and this other stuff because
Yeah.
yeah, no one's the truth, man. I really see why people regard him as one of the best like directors, in our generation here. So
Yeah,
rating
yeah,
wise, I'm gonna give this a decent to a strong 4.5 out of 5. Boy, do not skip on this. And yes, I see this also because on Netflix. Like, yes, now you have a reason to watch this. I mean, Netflix has been knocking it out the park this year. You know what I mean? Not just with Irishman, but now they have this under their belt here. And not
yeah.
only do I see this being nominated for some Oscars, because yeah, Adam Driver had to get an Oscar nom for this, but he killed
Yes,
it.
yes.
Scarlett
Good
Johansson
enough.
had to get a nom for this, so she killed
Yeah,
it. If they could give it to Laura Dern for Best Supporting Actress, because she
yeah,
killed it. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I would be happy for those though, man. Last thing I want to say though, similar to Francis Ha and the Squid and the Whale, because if I'm not mistaken, that also is on the Criterion Collection. I have a strong feeling that this show is going to make it to that, man. Yeah, if it does come out, yeah, bet your bottom dollar, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this in a heartbeat. So, yeah, decent to strong 4.5 out of 5. Do not miss this movie. What's your final thoughts and rating on this movie?
yeah. I pretty much are in line with you. It just it just has such good framing and blocking. Like holy shit! Like I just watching the little things and the little details and the little nuances, especially the kid actor. The kid actor was good. I forget to mention him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I thought he was. Like at first, like I
yeah.
say, I thought he was gonna be the brat, but yeah, because of how he's dealing with the
Well,
situation, you have
what is
to.
it? You're wondering, they had him wondering if like he had like a learning problem because a lot of he's 8, but he kind of reading behind his age a little bit in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
and he kind of asked a lot of, I don't want to say dumb questions, but kind of stuff that you would kind of wonder, okay, like you really thought about this though? And yes, like I say with the spelling thing, like in one scene, he, he asked him to spell, what was my Lego, I forgot what Lego what,
yeah,
but
basic shit now, right?
yeah, but it's like how to spell
I'm
Lego?
wondering,
Like, come on.
yeah, but they put him in the context of the story, like so to make it work. And yeah, exactly. It just feels subtle. We forget to mention this one scene with the woman who had to supervise them, and he cut himself. That was
Oh
weird and
yes,
hill.
yes.
I wondered if
I was a little iffy at first with how I don't know the actress who played her, but just the way how her character was, all like kind of, like kind of simple, like you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, like she would hurt a fly, that kind of vibe. There, I was a
right,
little on the fence of like how her character was, but it worked though in terms of how she was reacting to things there, because she's just like, hi, how you doing? You know me, she just all prim and proper and whatnot. That's the term I was thinking of. So, but it worked though in terms of like what happened with Adam's character, like accidentally cutting himself. There's like, oh, okay, weird, and just how she reacts to that. So yeah, continue.
right. Yeah. It's just that's a quick mention. It's just everything that's so well done. They frame everything really again framing and blocking. That's like the big thing, and then everything cut together so well. These great edits and match cuts and just all these great just solid filmmaking all around. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. Next a perfect
Nice.
score. Can't be mad at this one. I really thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, boy. So Netflix, boy. Netflix just like I say last week with the Irishman, boy. They just planted the flag here with this movie, boy. So hey, so I mean, well, well, they really onto something here, John. So expected, 2020 and beyond, we're just gonna be getting some great movies. Well, some nuts here or there, but just some great Oscar-winning movies, John. And it's on Netflix, so you have no excuse to not watch it. Unless, like I know for some people they might not like the topic of it, but still it's just so well acted and well put together. Yes, still watch it all the same, even though you might not really like movies based on stuff like that. But yeah, this is one of the best for the year. I can't say top 5 for now, but definitely best of the decade in my opinion. So yeah, we kind of sell ourselves out. Well, I sell myself out. I don't know what you, but yeah, this is gonna be on my list for sure.